welcome to my Effective and Efficient English channel. Based on the previous video, we introduced how to write an opinion essay or article or a magazine article about the harmful side effects of junk food. The second topic today is going to be about opinion essay and how about an opinion essay, an argumentative one, how to write your opinion or opinion essay regarding keeping animals in captivity at zoos, and how we actually transfer this opinion into a balanced discussion or an argumentative essay as well. So here we go, the ethics of animal captivity. But today's essay, I will be against having zoos in captivation or in captivity at the zoo. And now, having this introduction will include this word debate. Okay, so any topic that will be introduced having four views and against views, having one opinion and opposing opinion, it's good to include this word in the introduction, which is the word controversy or controversial and debatable. So today's topic is debatable, whether you agree or disagree with the idea of keeping animals at the zoo. As you see here, introduction, the debate surrounding the captivity of animals in zoos has been a contentious issue for decades. While proponents argue that zoos serve important educational and conservation purposes. Yeah, people who are following the idea of keeping animals in captivity, they think that it's a very good chance for learners to go in a field trip and notice how these kind of different species are living in their unnatural habitat or as a habitat-like place and learn about animals more. However, so it serves these kinds of purposes. However, opponents argue that the confinement and exploitation of animals for human entertainment are unethical. Unethical means that is something that is immoral. Unethical, it has an ethical problem because it's not okay to just keep an animal for our entertainment, because animal should have more rights than that. So opponents, it means that people who are against the view or the previous view, people who are rejecting or have dim view of the idea. Confinement. They argue that the confinement and exploitation. Confinement means that we've been put in a confined, limited area, okay? And exploitation of animals for human entertainment are unethical. I want you to notice and take down notes because today's vocabulary is so relevant to the topic, and as I told you before, that every topic is supposed to have its diction or relevant words that should be put in order to give you high marks. This essay will present a compelling argument against keeping animals in captivity in zoos, highlighting the negative impacts on their physical and mental well-being, the loss of their natural habitat, and the ethical concerns surrounding their exploitation. So here you notice the repetition of the word exploitation more than once, and the verb is exploiting or exploit. So it's not good to exploit animal for human entertainment or human sake, and also that will harm and or have a negative impact or influence upon physical and mental well-being of the animal, because animals should be treated like humans in a way that we have to respect their freedom. This is my point of view. Maybe you have different or opposing views because opinions may vary in this topic in particular. It's not like junk food. Junk food is always harmful, no matter how much you like it, but it's harmful. So it has a direct impact over your health. Here, we're talking about the negative impact of the confinement of animals of animals for human entertainment and exploitation, the mental and physical well-being of an animal, which means that we are here talking about a case against zoos or the case against captivating animals inside the zoo. So introduction here, as you notice that that the opening phrase here, it was about the ongoing debate. There is an ongoing debate or an ongoing opposing ideas or debate revolving around or about keeping animals, okay, in zoos for decades or for like hundreds of years. Has been a contentious issue, okay? And then it said that it stated the two opinions. So here the opinions are, contradictory, and they both are stated inside the introduction. So most probably this introduction can work more in a balanced argument because both views are expressed inside the introduction, which means that I will have one main idea, one main point supporting the idea of keeping the animals at the zoo, and the other one is against keeping animals at the zoo. Body one. Okay. The ideas of this topic will be about physical and mental well-being of animals. How animals will be affected, would be harmfully affected or negatively affected by such idea of the confinement or the limitation of their freedom. Animals in captivity are often subjected to, cramped and artificial environment that fail to provide the necessary space for their natural behavior. See how that, and now they are talking about the importance and the significance of the natural setting for the well-being of an animal. Here, when it comes to the zoo, sometimes it's offering zoos in the developed countries are paying much attention to how the animal will experience welfare. So they are very caring about how they put or place the animals in a very spacious area, providing them with a good nutrition or like dietitian plan and everything they need, maybe grooming, hygiene, and everything. However, in certain countries, they are not paying attention at all. So here they are talking in this case about the necessary space for the natural behavior is not that of good quality. The necessary space here is not adequate. So the lack of exercise, maybe stimulation, can lead to physical health problem. There isn't any care paid or attention paid for such animals to get trained or exercise, stimulated maybe, or living freely in their natural setting. So the lack of exercise and stimulation can lead to physical health problem, including obesity, muscle atrophy, or reduced lifespan. And these are horrible consequences led by captivation. So, furthermore, animals in zoos often display signs of psychological distress. Of course, now here we linked, because, obesity is inextricably linked again with the idea of distress and maybe psychological disorder like depression, for example. So here, whenever we gain weight, whenever we're not exercising, we're never engaging ourselves in any recreational activity, or we don't exert any effort to release our stress for our good mental well-being, it will affect our mood. So, just like the animal, exactly. Animals are human beings similar in their mental disorder or mental health here. I'm talking about how they are happy when they are provided with good, maybe natural setting that they can lose in, they can exercise, they can have this, wide range of, options. They are not sticking to one place. Their freedom is not limited by a cage or even a small area, a confined area. So again, furthermore, notice the connector here when you add more ideas. Animals in zoos is often display signs of psychological distress such as repetitive behavior and aggression, indicating their dissatisfaction and unhappiness in captivity. These conditions are far from the natural habitats they would experience in the wild. And here I recommend in this, before the very last statement in this body, I can write the connector therefore or hence. I can write here thus, comma, therefore, as a result, comma, these conditions are far from the natural habitat they would experience in the wild. Of course, you have noticed that I've added here a connector, replacing so as a persuasive technique at the very end of the paragraph to persuade the reader of the awful or dire consequences keeping the animals in captivity or in captivation. But here, after the comma, there is a slight change. If I'm about to write this, I have to change the capital T into the small t in order not to lose mark, because we're not supposed to write the capital T after the comma, of course. So pay attention for that. Pay attention. Number 2, loss of natural habitat actually leading to the destruction of the ecosystem and loss of biodiversity, because when animals are living in their natural habitats, they are more likely to breed. Okay, when I talk about breeding, producing many species, so animals are not endangered here in this case. So capturing animals for zoos often involving disrupting their natural habitats, leading to the destruction of ecosystem and loss of biodiversity. Okay, a lot of animals actually are vulnerable to extinction. When they are extinct means that they become endangered. So this is a very bad point. But I'm not allowed to write the word bad in my essay. This disruption can have severe consequences, as the removal of certain species from their natural environments can disrupt the delicate balance of the ecosystem. As you know, that God created us in the perfect way. So, God created animal for the balance of our environment, and you can actually read about that. Why God created all these species. Why God created wild animals, domestic animals, and created this natural wildlife. This is for the good of the universe, so you have to read about it to gain more ideas, not to be put in here. It's just enough to write balance of ecosystem, leading to cascading effects on other species and the environment as a whole. Cascading effects, like a flows of effects, will countless effects. Cascading, like a cascade. You know the cascade? The stream, the water stream, cascade. By keeping animals in captivity, we contribute to the destruction of their natural habitats and undermine conservation efforts. So, by this last phrase here, this is the therefore statement. This is consequently after what have been stated in this paragraph, which is the loss of the natural habitat. And by the way, I just organized the points like that. It doesn't mean that this is a report. This is an opinion essay. But I just broke down notes for you to make it easy when you mix and match in one body paragraph. Ethical concerns here. Zoos fundamentally exploit animals for human entertainment. Animals are taken from their homes, separated from their families, and placed in confined spaces solely for the amusement of visitors, which is, cruel, harsh to do. They are taken from their homes, separated from their families, and that's why it's calling animal exploitation at the end. That's why the term is really important in here to know. This exploitation is not only morally wrong, or unethically, like the word unethical, is equal the word morally wrong, but also perpetuates the notion that animals are objects or commodities rather than sentient being or human or deserving the respect, creature deserving the respect of the respect and freedom, just like human beings. So here, also perpetuates means that continue to have the notion. Perpetuate. When something is perpetual, it's continuously running, maybe non-stop. It's running perpetuous, okay, like perpetual. So Hannah perpetuates the notion that animals are objects or commodities. It's like we're treating animals like objects. We are not dealing with treating them as if they have rights. As I told you, animals should have their own rights respected for the good of the universe, for the good of their mental well-being, and because when we guarantee their welfare, they will be able to breed and produce more animals that keeps our universe or even the globe in balance. By supporting zoos, we endorse the objectification and commodification of animals, perpetuating a harmful mindset that undermines their intrinsic value. By supporting zoos, we endorse means like we are highly accepted the commodification of animals, perpetuating a harmful mindset. Like by supporting zoos, where we will keep depriving animals from their rights, we will keep perpetuating a harmful mindset that undermines their intrinsic value, okay? What I mean here, intrinsic, is like something that is of a great value, okay? So if you would like to just summarize this old paragraph in one sentence, this is a task I want you to do. Summarize these lines, okay, under the subtitle, ethical concern, okay, by having one phrase, why we should stop doing that, okay, why we should stop exploiting animals. Advancements in technology and virtual reality offer alternative ways to educate people. All right, so here I will stop because the second two-body paragraph here, I add some solution, or I just added some solution to the problem of animals' captivation or captivity. If I would like to write more solutions that can act as a replacement for the zoo, here I offer a solution. Here I'm giving a problem solution essay. It's okay, in my opinion, to write one solution in one line. It's okay, but I do not exceed the amount of lines giving the solution. Otherwise, it will be another kind of writing, which is the problem solution essay. And I don't want you to get confused between both, because actually problem solution essay, that you will focus more on the solution in the body paragraphs. But here you focus on your opinion and why we shouldn't do something or we should stick to it. So when you ask yourself why, if you read amount of answer for the question why, this is your opinion, okay? If you are going to write big deal or big bulk of a paragraph concerning the solution, now it transferred or changed into a problem solution essay. So this is, notice the difference, because there is a difference between them, and it's noticeable and it's not confusing at all. So I can add that we can have alternatives that can provide an immersive and educational experience while respecting the animal rights to freedom and well-being, like supporting conservation efforts in the wild, okay? Conservation means, what the meaning of conservation? Like something to conserve or maintain, keep, okay? Conserve. Such as protecting natural habitats and funding research can be more effective in preserving biodiversity, okay? Biodiversity means that the animals wouldn't be likely to extend or even become in danger, okay? They breed. They produce more animals. They get married and produce. And ensure the long-term survival of species. Okay, if I added just one line, what to do instead, it's okay, but I don't specify one big paragraph, otherwise it will be a problem solution essay. And we still haven't discussed the problem, it will be in the next video, too soon, but this one still is about opinion essays. And my essay today, or my article today, or I want you to write after finishing this video, you just turn off the screen and write, okay, an essay against keeping animals in captivity or zoos. And you write the topic sentences and supporting details, the major points like the animal's exploitation, affecting its biodiversity and depriving them from their rights. You can write about the confinement okay, the unnatural setting. You can write about detrimental effects, everything. The conclusion here, the practice of keeping animals in captivity in zoos is ethically problematic. Instead of repeating the word morally wrong or unethical, you can write this: ethically problematic is equal unethical, okay? And detrimental, this word I kept saying a lot today, to their physical and mental well-being. The loss of natural habitats and the exploitation of animals for human entertaining further compound to ethical concerns, okay, surrounding zoos. Instead of supporting these institutions, we should focus on alternative means of education and conservation that respect animals' rights and contribute to their well-being. Ultimately, the well-being and freedom of animals should take precedence over our desire for entertainment and education. So we can also summarize, or maybe, we can summarize, okay, and reduce the amount of the conclusion written here by just stating your opinion here. I personally believe, in my perspective, the practice of keeping animals in captivity in zoos is ethically problematic and detrimental to their physical and mental well-being, and the loss of natural habitat and the exploitation of them, actually for the sake of the human entertainment, is having ethical concerns, and like campaigns should be launched. You know the meaning of campaigns that should be launched in order to spread awareness of the rights of animals, maybe providing them welfare. So this is for the opinion essay concerning animals kept in captivity at zoo or in zoos. However, if you just write the same question rubric, like this phrase, for example, you found this phrase in the question: the practice of keeping animals in captivities is ethically problematic. However, it's educational for students, okay? Or it's good for humans' entertainment, for example. Write a balanced discussion. Write a balanced argument. Write a composition where you have to state the pros and cons of keeping animals in captivity in zoos. So, what kind of writing would that be? Think about it. Okay, this is not an opinion. This is a kind of a balanced discussion between for and against views or ideas. So, it will be much more easier to write an argumentative or balanced discussion where you have a certain amount of views and opposing views. So, I'm going to say what I have just said now in the against views. Like, I'm against it, so I would write what I've just said. Plus, the opposing viewpoint, which is, keeping zoos and animals is really beneficial for humanity to get to know animals more and learn about their habitats, learning how they live, how they feed on things, learning things about scientifically. It's important and it's educational. We can write that it's something good, but you have to maintain some examples. Like, I illustrated my point of view and supported with details and examples. You should do the same thing if you agree with it, because the essay here requires you to be neutral, unbiased. However, you should state your very opinion at the end of it, at the end of the essay. This discursive or argumentative essay, you're supposed to state your opinion at the very end. Don't state it in the body paragraph. Don't state it even in the introduction. But you have to expose or express the two opposing ideas, like in the first body here, like in the introduction here. Like, okay, some argue that zoos serve important educational and conservation purposes, while others argue or claim that it's unethical and it has a great deal of exploitation for the sake of a human entertainment. So we have to get both ideas written in the intro, okay? And you should state that this essay will discuss the opposing views or the contradictory views, because it's a debatable thing. One essay for the views, for those who claim that it's educational and it actually surfaces a good aims, and the other that it's detrimental and a confinement and exploitation and exploiting animals, full of ethical problematic thing. فده في البادي التاني. At the very end of the essay, you're supposed to write your own views. So this is the difference between the opinion essay, where you have to only stick to one side of the view, on the one side of the opinion, your own opinion throughout the whole thing, and the difference between it and the other one, which is the two-sided balanced discussion, which is the balanced composition or argument. And now let's move to another argumentative topic about whether cinema is a thing from the past or not.